Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around. You don't believe
Hey, this is Paul Martin
And Ray the Roadie.
for the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. How's it going, Ray?
I don't know. I'm having a little crisis.
I see that. What's the problem?
I don't know. I think I need some Xanax or something.
Oh, boy. What kind of crisis is this?
I think it's midlife.
Oh, you're beyond midlife.
Hey. Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little.
Isn't
maybe,
midlife like 40 to 55, maybe?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This could be like pre-senior.
It might be a senior moment.
It could be a senior moment.
Yes.
I've been having more and more of those.
Well, so the band we're talking to today is called Senior Moment. No,
It's
they're
not.
not.
They're not. It's called the psychotic. No, wait a minute. It's like it's Midlife Crisis.
Midlife Crisis, of course it is. So they're from the south suburbs.
The south suburbs.
The south suburbs.
Down there by the Jewels.
By the Heights.
By the Heights, there in the Jewels, and
That's right.
over by there.
And they're playing some rock and roll, I see.
Yes, they are.
And keep pretty busy, too.
They got quite a few shows.
Yes, they do. Yes, they've been playing a lot around the south suburbs, from Tinley Park to Crown Point to places.
To the Heights. They play in the Heights.
They play in the Heights. They play in Frankfurt and New Lenox, and they're keeping pretty busy.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So let's see what they have to say for themselves.
Okay, let's do it.
How you doing? We're meeting with Mike and Tom and John and Anthony, right? I got everybody, right?
Got it.
Well, oops. There we are.
You forgot the name of the band. It's Midlife Crisis.
Well, I had to turn him up because I didn't have him up there. Midlife Crisis is the name of the band. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Real good. Good. So tell us a little bit about the band and where the band got started and where you've been since then.
We hear you. First, thanks for having us out here. We're really excited because you guys have had some great success with this and some great bands that we all grew up with.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool listening to them. But we actually, I'll start it off. This is Tom, but I'll tell you that Mike chased me for quite a while to get together with him because he and I had played 15 years prior when we were in high school and kind of took a hiatus from it. But quite frankly, that goes back to 1999, and I'll let John and Mike tell you exactly what happened one night. This was a couple weeks before I got introduced to the band.
And you play bass, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was a cold, stormy night.
Yes, a dark, stormy, cold night. This is Mike, the drummer. We had been, John and I were part of our kids went to the same school together, and they had an Oktoberfest, and another member of the band was there. And the band was up on stage, and they asked the guitar player, one of the other fathers, to come up and play. And there was a friend of mine there, and he yelled out, "Hey, have Mike come up there and play." Well, like Tom said, I haven't played in a while. So I walked up to the stage, and this other father was already on stage, and he looked at me and he says, "Have you done this before?" and I was like, I was almost like taken aback. But I said, "Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
I did a little bit.
I can handle it."
So we played. We jammed with this band for a couple of songs, and when I came down, somebody said, "Hey, go see John. He's sitting right there. He's a great guitar player. Go see what he." So we walked over there, and that's when we started talking about getting together at my house in the basement, and the three of us got together, and I think the next year we played that same Oktoberfest like a warm-up band for the other band that was there.
Oh, okay.
And
so what year was this?
This was 1998.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and then they, and so after that they were like, and during that time between the first time that we had done this and 1999, I was after him. Kind of touching bass back with him. Hey, come on, we need a bass player.
That's because we were playing without a bass player.
Without a bass player,
okay.
That's how kooky it was.
So, and that's how it started in my basement. And my wife came downstairs and she asked us, what we wanted. And as she walked up the stairs, she goes, "You guys are going through a midlife crisis." And
there came the name, right?
came the name.
I see.
So that original other guitar player was Bob Broderick. He was the one that also had children at the same school district.
Right.
And he was something else. He was kind of always the glass half full guy, and he was really positive about this. And finally, Mike talked me into coming down, and I was like, man, this is rough. And we get done with the song, and John and I kind of look at each other, and Bob was just like, "That was great."
Yeah, there's always an optimist in the group.
Well, you know what? That's what made us keep going. And what didn't take long, then they maybe 2-3 practices, and they sprung it on me that they had some jobs lined up. So our official job in 1999 is Midlife Crisis with Bob Broderick, me, Tom, and Mike, John, was at St. Agnes Parish in Chicago Heights. And we got through it. And son of a gun, we've been playing that parish picnic every year since. Yeah.
So what's your genre of music that you play?
Predominantly, we try to focus on danceable type music, but I would say it spans 50s through present. And with the addition of my son Anthony here, it really opens up to some newer stuff from more recent bands. And when I say recent, 2000 for me is pretty recent, but
and some good 90s.
Yeah.
But rock and roll, pretty much rock and roll and funk and disco.
Yes.
Yeah, we like to say AC/DC to ZZ Top and a lot of funk in between.
There you go. So Anthony, you're the newest member, I take it, of the band, right?
That's correct. About 6 years now I've been
really?
playing with these guys. Yeah.
And now you play guitar, right?
Yeah, rhythm guitar.
Okay.
And a little bit of vocals too.
Yeah, I was to say, who's the singer in the band?
That's split pretty evenly between the three of us, Mike, myself, and my dad.
I only get to do a couple doo-wops in the third set when everybody's pretty drunk, and they allow me to sing.
So what kind of guitar do you play, Anthony?
So I've been playing a Fender Telecaster.
Yeah.
I also have an Epiphone Les Paul, Black Beauty, and then
so you got both ends of the spectrum covered there.
A little bit, yeah.
And what about you, John?
Main acts lately is a 57 what do you call it? A repro?
Reissue?
Repro? Not repo, but repro. Gold top Les Paul.
Oh, nice.
And I kind of put the 76 Explorer away for a while. Also have a Strat at home, but primarily the Les Paul.
Those Les Pauls get heavy, though, don't they?
Very.
Not as heavy as a Fender Precision bass.
True. I can't believe you even played it.
Yeah, that's your choice, right?
Yeah, I've got
your weapon of choice, right?
The original 1978 that I bought when I was playing in Mike's basement back in high school.
And they were lighter back then.
Really?
20 years later, they're a little bit heavier, or 30 years later.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
We're a little heavier, though.
Well, I got it.
It's called center of gravity.
Yes. So as Anthony joined us, John always announced him and said how he's brought down the average weight of the band and the average age.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, you're not even old enough to have a midlife crisis yet.
Not yet. But the weight's going up, so that average.
So what is your drums of choice?
My weapon of choice?
Yeah.
I have a DW Collectors, DW Collectors 7-piece.
Okay.
White marine pearl, beautiful white marine pearl.
Nice. DWs are nice.
Yeah, for my favorite three drummers, Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa, and Louis Belson.
Oh, nice.
That white marine pearl is really sharp on stage.
Right.
Yeah, it's a nice kit. Really nice kit.
Very
My
good.
pride and joy.
Nice.
It's a big kit, which is kind of rare for some of the bars and most of it. I could play when I play jazz. I do go with the smaller 4-piece, but when I rock, I play the bigger.
So you play in another band or no?
I do. I perform with another gentleman. We do like the standards, the classics, big band music.
You could say his name.
Yeah, Frank Rossi. I don't know.
Sure,
you know
sure.
Frank?
Oh, yeah.
I perform with Frank all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times during the week. So I being retired, I have a lot of time.
Nice. Now you said you were a retired fireman, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
It was a great gig, and it allowed me to gig with the band on the weekends because of our schedule. So it's
Nice.
worked out good for me.
Very nice. Very nice.
So where did what's some of your history on when did you start playing? What turned you on to the drums or the guitar? Where'd that all come from?
Well, the drums, I started playing when I was about 9 years old, and I just turned 59, so I've been playing for a little bit, and I was a huge Beatle fan. So I used to sit in my basement with my 1963 gold sparkle Slingerland 4-piece, which I wish I still had.
Nice.
Wow.
With a gorgeous out of Niles, Slingerland out of Niles,
Sure.
Illinois. And I just used to play the Beatles music over and over and over again. And I think, one of the most underrated drummers of all time is Ringo Starr, because he was a make sense drummer. He had that great, when you think of like the song In My Life, that great offbeat that fit that song perfectly.
We were talking about that on a recent episode, that Ringo was very, very underrated. Yeah.
He's like George Harrison's leads. Imagine the Beatles music without Ringo Starr and without George Harrison's leads.
Right.
Those perfect leads that fit, or that. And if you listen to Tom Petty's Breakdown,
Right. Great song.
listen to the drum beat in that song.
Yeah.
That's Ringo Starr's In My Life, and the drummer will tell you he stole that from Ringo
Oh,
Starr.
really? Yeah.
So it's the exact same rhythm.
Yeah.
So he was one of my big influences, and then I became a more progressive listener. I was listening to Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Carl Palmer, Rush. I'm a big progressive fan, but Ringo was the one that started me playing in my basement with that with a pool cue with a microphone taped to it so I could sing.
You still have that pool cue?
I don't. So that's my story. So
No, Mike, he his basement has seen a lot of musicians down there. That's for sure. But I met him when he was a sophomore and I was a freshman at Bloom High School, and I made it into what most high schools would call the jazz band, but we called it the stage band. Playing trumpet. My dad was from the big band era, and he directed band at the St. Agnes grade school in Chicago Heights for 30 years. So I had to play the trumpet. But I met him there, and there was this cool dude playing bass, and he just had his eyes squinting all the time and wearing sunglasses. So I don't know if he was what he was doing actually, but he was really cool. And I just watched him as I was playing trumpet, and I would always get yelled at for not paying attention. And sure enough, I bought his bass from him. So that's what started me. And then Mike and I just kind of hung around for a couple of years, and then we started playing in a band together when he was a senior and I was a junior. And it had horn section, and but I continued to play bass.
So you said you were in high school when you started?
Yes.
Yeah. Where'd you go to high school at?
It was Bloom in Chicago Heights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, you're
Yeah, I started in 5th grade in the school band programs too. I was from Madison, so I went to Madison schools and Huth Upper Grade Center and Rich South High School, and I was playing sax during those years. But when I was about 11 or 12, I picked up the guitar too, and it's kind of a weird story. We only had 2 albums in the house at the time when I was growing up. One of them was Meet the Beatles, and the other one was Bill Haley and the Comets.
Nice.
So those are the only 2 albums I had, so I played it back to back over and over on the old Motorola Hi-Fi, which later became my first guitar amp. But anyway, but to try and single out influences at that time is so hard because, God, there was just so much and so many different artists at the time that were very influential. It was a great time to be influenced.
Yeah, Anthony, go ahead.
Yeah, I think for myself, obviously growing up with my father as a musician, as early as I can remember, I was, there's pictures of me when I was a toddler with like a mini electric guitar that they bought me. And, I think from that age and just seeing my dad grow up in all these bands and his college band and in this band, obviously I had a strong music influence in my life. So that's when I picked up the guitar. I think, regarding my tone, obviously hearing some of the bands that my dad listened to, Van Halen, and hearing Eddie Van Halen's tone, it really was inspirational and kind of inspired my tone today. With the distortion and the flange and the phaser and the chorus pedals. I have all that stuff going on in our shows every night. So,
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of where my influences started, and then just growing up. Yeah, so the Van Halen thing kind of inspired my tone, and then in high school the pop punk and the punk music, was pretty popular. So I got into that and Blink-182 and those types of bands were my influences in high school. So it kind of changed from the 70s rock into this more fast paced power chord structures, and
Right.
so that kind of influenced my playing style, and so yeah.
Have you played with anybody else besides your current band?
Yeah, so in high school, my best friends and I got together, and we all just kind of picked up these instruments and just started playing, and
Puberty first, then midlife
puberty
crisis.
first. Yeah, excuse me. And then so all throughout high school, I had a band, and it was kind of that pop punk genre.
What was the name of that band?
We were called a couple names at the time. We were called Fallout, and then Leaving Audrey. It changed too over the years, and I don't even remember why. But yeah,
Maybe somebody was leaving Audrey.
maybe yeah.
I'm done with her, man. Done.
She gone.
She gone. That's right.
That's a good name for a band.
It's hard to come up with a name. I tell you, we were just talking about that with the last interview we just had. That it's tough coming up with a name, a good name.
I mean, Mike kind of told you about calling it Midlife Crisis. The wives kind of said, "Hey, it's going to fit." But back then in '99, there wasn't the internet as it is now, where you can Google a name and find all the bands named the same thing.
Oh, sure.
So it's not an uncommon name, but we've been doing it for 20 years and never had any problem. But I know there's another one up in Grand Rapids. There's been a couple in Illinois that seem to come and go. So we like it. We're not going to change it.
No, there's no need to. If you're the only way, I guess somebody said within so I forget 100-mile area or something. Then you're good. So, but now, do you still play saxophone?
Yeah, we do maybe one or two, maybe three songs.
Oh, yeah,
like
we'll do the KC and the Sunshine.
Oh, that's
medley.
right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works whether we're doing 3 or 4 piece. Sometimes we have the opportunity or the necessity to do a 3 piece.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when Anthony's first year, when he started, we did have Bob come in and help out a little bit as he was in the retirement mode. But I think you had 11 weddings that first full year you played with us, and one of them was his wedding. So he couldn't
Played your own wedding?
We did. He hired a really good band. But they allowed us to play a few songs, and the dance floor just filled up. It was great.
Okay.
But
I thought you guys actually were hired to play the wedding.
no, Mom wouldn't let that happen.
No, my wife would never.
The wives did put some restrictions on
Yeah,
that.
I was going to say. Yeah.
She said, "I'm not going to a wedding if you're playing there."
That was cool though. His uncle plays in a cover band, and so he got a chance to come up and sing, and it was really cool. But anyway, with him literally having 11 weddings, you can imagine most of Saturday's not available. So we did kind of force us to play as a 3-piece. But what really worked out well, we started doing an acoustic show, both with and without Anthony. And doing acoustic really forced us to get even tighter. And we've always been known to be a tight band. And I credit that for me and Mike. I mean, we've been playing with each other since high school.
You guys are the foundation, right?
We are.
You got to start at the bottom and work your way up.
That's right. And John, most versatile guitar player I've ever played with, and he could just play anything and knows anything. I have to. We pick a song and I have to go home and they don't know it, but I'm practicing 24 hours a day on it for 3 days in a row. He just looks at it, and 2 minutes later he's playing it exact. It's very envious of him.
Well, thank you.
Now you said you played saxophone too? Or?
No, I was trumpet.
Oh, trumpet. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry.
It's kind of hard to do that and bass at the same time.
Yeah.
Although I will say, getting back to Anthony, so he has substituted for me a little bit to give my hands a break because I recently had some hand surgery. and he plays bass. And then we, on purpose, do a couple songs. Well, one in particular, where Mike comes out because he uses a headless microphone setup.
Yeah.
He comes out from behind the drums, and Anthony goes behind the drums. So
Nice.
mix it up a little bit. So it's nice.
That's very cool.
He plays a plethora of instruments.
Yeah.
It's a crossword puzzle word. That's a good name for a band, right?
Another band name. Yeah. Please welcome the Plethoras.
And Anthony's had no actual formal music training. I tried to get him to take lessons, never take lessons. And then he ends up playing 3 different instruments and singing.
Yeah, I don't play the other instruments very well, but I can function with the basic training I have. That's the one regret I do have, though, is not continuing the professional guitar training that I.
So did you learn from your dad, or did
I
you?
did, yeah.
Or did you learn from YouTube?
Well, that's what I'm starting to do now is learn from YouTube. I'm trying to get better at guitar, even today, and that's what I'm resorting to. But I wish I had kept going with the training when I was younger.
Yeah.
And had the time to.
Now, do you two read music? Or any of you read music?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Still?
Yeah, I taught when I played trumpet for all those years, so I knew the treble clef, and I taught myself the bass clef in high school when I started playing bass. And so when I first got together with these guys, Michael had mentioned the Beatles, so we did a lot of Beatles in the beginning. And Bob had this big thick book, and I literally read the bass lines as we were learning them. Yeah.
The what?
The fake book, they call it.
The fake book?
Yeah. But it was enough to teach me, and so. Anyway, but John does, and Mike actually he even learned. He plays the organ. He doesn't bring that up, but he actually taught himself how to play the organ too.
Really?
Yeah, it's my ma's favorite instrument was the the organ. So when I was younger, I used to perform in my living room for my mom, and
Sure.
it's kind of cool. I did all the standards again, and that's why I love when I do perform with Frank Rossi. It brings back all those memories of my mom with the keyboard. And Frank is one of the greatest accordionists.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the top in the country, actually. He's really fantastic.
He's a great entertainer, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I look at him sometimes and go, how do you remember all these people's names? I just smile and shake my head, and he knows everybody's backstory. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I follow Frank on Facebook. So. Yeah.
So then you've seen me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I said, I think I know that guy.
I love it. I try to stay open to all kind of music. That's why I love this band. We do such a wide range of music. And as a drummer, a lot of times I'm constantly looking at the audience where the guys are kind of moving around stage while I'm always facing forward. And sometimes I love the reaction of people in the crowd when we go from one song to the next, because we do a couple of mashups that are really long, and I love the effect that has on people when they turn and go, wow, these guys went from this genre to that genre, and whoa, how did they do that? And that's what I love about the wide range of music that we do.
Yeah, and we're 100% live. There's nothing tracking in the background or anything. But we do, like Mike said, do a lot of mashes. So we kind of play like a DJ and don't stop.
Right.
Our feeling is, a lot of bands go up there and talk in between songs, and you can't really hear what they're saying half the time at a club, and you don't pay attention to it anyway.
Well, to me, that's live music 101 is to get up there and play at least 3 or 4 songs in a row.
Don't tune.
Right.
Have your snare drum.
Yes.
No, it works good. We did learn early on, though, that you got to keep the women dancing. I don't care if it's a big festival or if it's a bar. If the ladies are dancing, they hire you back. And we went from playing a lot of Steve Ray Vaughan because John does a great job at it. We did a lot of Beatles, as we mentioned, and other music that we're just not even playing anymore. But over 20 years plus, you go through a lot of songs.
So what's on this latest CD?
Well, that's late, actually.
It is?
So the original one is from 2000. So once we were playing for about 6 months, we went to Star Treks and put down some songs, and none of those we play anymore.
Are these original songs?
No. We have had a couple originals over the years, and we have played them live. Had about 4-year stint of playing it and just decided not to. We got good crowd reactions of it, but We didn't go beyond the 2 or 3 songs. That
Who
we
did
wrote.
the writing?
I did the writing myself, but it's hard to say. These guys really perfected the songs.
Yeah.
It was my lyrics, it was my rhythm, but I'm a bass player, so I wasn't out there doing the full blown scale of guitar chord progressions and all of that. So everybody contributed.
So and what's the latest?
So that demo, that was still
What's the
like
demo?
pre MP3. We did some snippets of songs, and that was in 2005. So we haven't put anything in the studio since then. And that too is all just snippets of cover tunes. But most of those we still play. And I think we get through, we're between 48 and 50 songs a night. So if we're doing a typical bar, 3 sets, we get through almost 50 songs.
So you got Hard to Handle, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. I love that one.
Yeah.
Ain't too proud to beg, sweet darling, please only beg. Don't you know? Ain't too proud to baby, baby, please only beg. Don't you know?
So what are some of your top songs off of this or that you play it?
Oh, God, what do you think, John? I mean, some of the 70s funk are just I don't care. We do a lot of stuff that have horns, and we don't play the horn section, and we play it so tight, I don't think anybody notices that the horns aren't there, but the Brick House always gets them going.
Yeah.
Play that funky music, white boy.
They were dancing and singing and moving to the groove, and just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, white boy."
Let me just say the mash, that one mash that we continually tweak, and I think people think it's a brand new song, but we just add like 30 seconds of one thing to it, and it makes us look like we're practicing really hard and learning new songs. But currently, it starts off with Another One Bites the Dust. Then that's not even true. There's about 4 songs before that merge into it. But officially, the mash starts with Another One Bites the Dust. Then it goes into what?
Aerosmith, right?
Goes into Aerosmith, Walk This Way. Then it goes into Everybody Dance Now. And then it goes into Rapper's Delight.
Oh, wow.
And it comes out of that, and we eventually get back to end of Another One Bites the Dust. And that's probably about 8, 9, 10 minutes long right there.
Right.
But what are, John, some of the Van Halen and some of the Steve Ray Vaughan and things that we used to do?
Couldn't Stand the Weather. Tightrope. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
About that.
I'll pull one out from the past. Anthony Gomes, High Calorie Woman.
Oh yeah.
Didn't I see that on here?
Yeah,
That's on the
original.
Yeah, you don't do that one anymore, huh? No.
We do that Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson.
Yeah.
Uptown
Uptown
Funk.
Uptown Funk, sure.
I usually get some good reaction.
We do play a few weddings throughout the year. I mean, we get a couple, so we can't book too many, because those you got to book many years in advance, and these days at least 18 months in advance. And Mike's the only retired one, so it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
But we do pick up a couple weddings every year, and we keep the floor full, so makes us feel good.
It's kind of funny how disco, which of course we kind of abhorred back when it first came out, is some of the best stuff we play now.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of funny,
Yeah.
to see it
Do
grow.
you do any Van Halen? I mean, because Anthony, you said that was an influence of yours. You guys do any Van Halen?
Not currently.
Yeah, we don't right now.
Okay.
Running with the Devil once.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We
Running with the Devil.
we experimented.
Yeah.
But we do rock a little bit.
Some Zeppelin.
Yeah, we pull out some Zeppelin.
Nice.
We pull out some Ted Nugent. So
Can't Scratch Fever. No?
Stranglehold.
Stranglehold. Oh, nice.
Stranglehold.
Nice.
Yeah, we pull that one out of the box once in a while.
Nice.
The standard, call them standards now. Jesse's Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Summer of 59 or 69 or whatever the hell it was.
79,
Brown Eyed
89,
Girl.
yeah.
So now we call those the standard.
Yeah.
No Cheeseburger in Paradise?
Please, no.
We're pretty diverse, but we don't go there.
Yeah. We used to do, many years ago, we did there's certain songs that that you have to play because the crowd really likes them,
Sure.
but they're not necessarily your favorites,
Right.
you know. Or there's songs that just I don't fit in my wheelhouse, but you have to play them, you know, and you have to play them well. And one of the songs we used to do many years ago before Anthony was with us, when Bob was still with us, we used to do After Midnight. And that song went on for like how long, John? About 2.5 months when we played it. It felt like it was like 2.5 months long. And it was one of those songs where it was like, oh my God, it's like a funeral dirge for me back there. I'm going, you know.
You saw it on the list and you're like, oh, man.
Skip it. Yeah. He turned around from the front of the stage and go, we're going to skip the next song.
And the 2-song Creedence mashup that went on for 20 minutes straight.
Oh, we used to do, what was it? Susie Q and,
Oh yeah.
I can't, but it was like, again, it was, for me as a,
Born on the Bayou.
Born on it. For me as a drummer, it was like a funeral dirge back there. It was like just, it went on and on and on.
Well, that happens after you play a song for so long, and
You do. You know, it's there are those songs out there that are great tunes. Everybody wants to hear them, and as a musician, you're compelled to play them. But they're just songs that you're just like, man, we need to put this one. Don't play this one unless 10 people request it. You know?
Yeah.
Mustang Sally.
There you go. It's
But
great tune.
it always goes over.
Yeah. Now, and there's some songs that we've played and tried and went out and did it live, and they're great and we sound great at it, but it just doesn't quite fit. So we end them. You know, we did a Foo Fighters song that really went over. I thought it sounded amazing. I mean, it's something I would have recorded as just for fun to hear us play it. But we played it live and it just didn't really click with our crowd. So whether we like it or not, we just drop it. Confidentially, I since Anthony's been with us, I don't know if Mike and John know, but I'll go ask him every once in a while, maybe every 3 months. So what do you think we need to get rid of? And he's honest. He'll say, you got to get rid of this. Let's try this.
Always need some new blood.
Yeah.
And
So
what
that's-
should we add?
And that's Anthony. That's why we're not doing the Liechtenstein polka anymore. You know?
Yeah.
We did play a polka.
Sure.
And we used to do, what was that sitcom back in the day? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Green Acres.
Green Acres.
Green Acres, yeah.
When someone would say, "Hey, you guys know any country?" We'd go into Green Acres.
Play the whole song.
Play the
too.
whole song. Yeah.
Mike would be behind the drums and he had that boa and he'd say, New York is where I'd rather be.
So about how many shows a year you guys do?
We've always had a plan to do 25 shows, so twice a month. And we stuck to it. And I think that's what really helped us survive because we're all on the same page doing that. It was 2004, I think we had just by happenstance, we actually booked 3 jobs a month. So not 4 in 1 month and 1 in 1 month, but we literally had 3 in a month. So they were spaced out nicely. So that was 36 shows. And just by coincidence, we printed up new shirts, and on the back of the shirts, of course, it said Midlife Crisis in the front, but it said Middle-Aged Men Gone Wild 2004 tour. And then we went back to our 25 shows until...
Yeah, last year, for some reason,
It was our anniversary year, our 20-year anniversary.
and we did 44, I think.
Wow.
It was a record, and it was a hell of a pace, but unlike the other years where it was kind of steady, it was up and down. So we'd go a month without anything, and then the next month we'd have 6 jobs. So
You guys do your own booking, or
yeah, Tom does the
We do. We've been... there was a couple places we wanted to get into and we couldn't, so we
Right.
had to introduce ourselves to Joey.
yeah, Joey DeMarco? Sure. Yes.
But he's great.
His name has come up several times in this podcast.
You know,
in our podcast.
he's great. I mean, we use each other appropriately.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the pimp whore relationship.
Yeah, he's a good guy, actually.
No, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's gotten us into some places that we wanted to get into, and you just couldn't without him. And,
Right.
so we help each other out. Actually, he will contact me every once in a while and ask if we can do something, and vice versa. I'll let him know that we've got a slow month coming up. And actually, we've done some acoustics things through him too, some smaller
Okay.
venues.
So now you told me that you recorded this CD in 2000 at my buddy Jeff Loof's studio, right?
That's right.
At Star Treks. Did you do this one, the second one there too?
No, that was Axe.
Yeah, Axis Music in Orland
Oh, okay.
also doubles as a studio.
Right.
So it's kind of a store, school, with all the rooms they do the lessons in, and then all the rooms are hooked up to the main board, so he just records
Oh, okay.
right there in the store, after hours.
Right. Very good.
Yeah, so I assume you guys ever do anything at Star Treks in our rush?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we actually, there was a Homewood Days back when, of course, that festival doesn't happen anymore, but we actually, we like to say we opened up for you, but we played the hour before you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At where?
Homewood Days.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we played in front of you guys at Homewood Days once.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that, but
You were just like, get that band off the stage.
Because it moved. It was in the middle of the street over here, and it was in the middle of the street, and
two
then
stages.
It was in a parking lot at one time there next to Melody Mart.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they did it right too, and you had time in between because they had two stages, and you had time in between stages. So we probably didn't get in your way or anything, but we did hang around and watch you guys.
And plus, you guys just celebrated 20 years.
Yes.
M&R Rush is celebrating 47.
Yeah, they're post midlife crisis.
Yeah, we're way beyond that. Yeah,
They're assisted living.
I remember getting.
hey, watch it.
I remember getting back to that CD. I remember at Track Studio. I remember putting my 12-piece double bass
Oh yeah,
Tama monster kit into that
yeah,
drum
yeah.
room and
Yeah.
having to crawl under stands to get into it.
We probably have that at some stages too, don't you?
Well, that's the nice thing about it. It's my own little world back there. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to be back there. The one issue sometimes in it now with Anthony coming up and getting behind the kit so I can come up front, it's kind of hard to entertain from behind the kit.
Right.
I do get a kick out of when people are looking at the stage to try to figure out who's singing. when
Right,
these guys
right.
aren't
Yeah,
singing.
yeah.
I get a kick out of that, but it's my own little world back there. So sometimes it's kind of cool, and sometimes they'll come back and get close. I don't even know they're there. They'll be looking at me and my head down or whatever. And
Well, now with the coronavirus, you've got that 6 foot of distance between you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Stay your 6 feet away from me.
Eddie Van
Bigger
Halen.
stage.
Eddie Van Halen used to have fire extinguishers on his kit. I think from now on I'm going to have Lysol cans.
There you go. So what kind of places? Where have you got coming up?
So this month, actually tonight, we're at Smoky Joe's out in Crete. And
Unfortunately, people aren't going to hear this tonight. But,
that's all right.
but I see you'll be back there again in May, right?
Yeah, so we got 3 or 4 shows throughout the spring and summer. And then the following Saturday, the 21st of this month, we're at the Holsteins, Tinley. And then the following Saturday from that, we go out to Buddy and Pals in
Playing 3
Cherville.
times this month, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
So we kind of, those are some of our favorite clubs that we do, and you play the clubs because you want to get some of these festivals, and we don't work hard to get the jobs. I mean, what we get we like, and we hang on to as long as we can. We kind of followed the Moes, and when we first started and wherever they were playing, we figured that'd be a cool place to play.
Yeah.
And actually, we met them. We were supposed to play with them at on stage together, like a broad stage at Worth Days, and got rained out. But I tell you what, Jose taught me how to negotiate that day because we went up to collect the money in the rain, and we did it. We got it. But we also played with them. They always Friday nights at the big Frankfurt Festival, and we were always Saturday nights for a dozen years. Maybe the first 6 years we were in the afternoon, but then we moved up to the Saturday night slot. So that was always a big festival for us. But the organization that ran it for many, many, many years folded, and so the Chamber of Commerce took it over, and they made some changes, so we haven't been back since. So we had a brush of greatness with Replay. I had a big show set up for the Will County Forest Preserve, and again, we were doing like a dual stage, them on a set, we're on a set, and
Right.
we used Replay to set up the equipment, and we were just sharing the event. and it got rained out. So
Yeah, so we've got a joke. If you're going through a drought, book us. We guarantee we'll bring rain like you've never seen.
And that's why we don't play "Couldn't Stand the Weather" by Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I see you played St. Agnes's parish picnic. You
Yeah.
talked about St. Agnes earlier.
yeah, so that was the first show that we officially did as Midlife Crisis back in the day. And we've been doing that every year, I think, except one for 20 years. So
Very good.
we also do St. Karen's in the Chicago Heights area. But it's nice. We at least have a couple shows a year that it's a good 1,000+ crowd. So we're hoping that nothing, prolongs to the summertime here, because we have our first big one that is always over 1,000 people is Fridays after 5. It's at the Commons in New Lenox at that big stage, and they have a food truck event. And they run one in June, July, and August in between their triple play concerts. And so we've been opening up the June one for the last couple of years, and that's going to be on June 19th. And so that's always a nice show. You just bring your own beverage and chairs and sit on the grassy knoll, and they have about 10 food trucks pull up, and it's really cool.
Nice.
And then another big one we have this year is that it's actually a summer fest at CD and Me, and that's a money raiser for the Lincoln Way High School District 2010 Foundation. And given what's going on, I get a feeling that this is going to be an important year for them to raise some money. So we're looking forward to that. That's not until July. You can see it on our Facebook and our website.
Speaking of that, where do we find you on Facebook, and what's your website?
Website is midlifecrisis1999.com. And then just look us up on Facebook.
Midlife Crisis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's important to put that 1999 on there. You can get right to us.
Yeah, okay. I see that.
Yeah, otherwise you get to psychology sites. And,
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for coming out.
And
Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Thanks for not bringing any coronavirus with you.
Oh, wait. We got one thing for you, though. Another virus.
Okay.
So we got some official Midlife Crisis T-shirts.
Awesome.
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 I'm sorry, they're extra large.
That's okay.
Oh, I guess that's all right.
That's all right. That's right. Thank you.
And we have these wonderful rolls of toilet paper for you.
Oh, awesome.
On your way out, you can grab
On your
one.
way out, just grab one.
Because I don't know why, but it seems to.
That seems to be the thing right now. All righty, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that was Mike and Tom and John and Anthony of Midlife Crisis.
Of Midlife Crisis. That was, I'm feeling a lot better now after that interview. I think they've calmed my midlife crisis.
You should start a band called Senior Moment, I think.
See, look, we talk about, coming up with band names, and here we're coming up with them left and right. It's not that difficult.
I guess it's not.
The Senior Moments.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do like the assisted living places.
Sure.
Yeah, you go in there dressed like Grim Reapers. Grim Reapers, that'd be a good one.
Yeah. I don't think you can do the senior places now. We can't even go visit them now.
No, we can't because that damn coronavirus.
Yes, well.
You know what, though? Weren't you saying something about Mexico doesn't have any?
I haven't heard of one case in Mexico, and I think it's because of tequila.
That could be the.
So I've been drinking a lot lot of it lately.
I'm going to start then. I'm going to start. Maybe that'll help me with my midlife crisis.
It might. It might.
It might.
So anyway, we talked with Midlife Crisis, and they've had some great stories and learning a little bit about the band.
Yeah, they've been together, 20 years now, 21 years now, and even got young Anthony there, who's the youngest member, who's also having a midlife crisis.
I guess he is.
But they've done a lot of shows over the years. Still doing a lot of shows throughout the south suburbs, like Frankfurt and Orland Park, into Indiana and Crete, and even they're down by the Heights there, over by the Jewels.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure and check us out on the Road to Rock Radio every Monday night at roadtorock.org.
is the museum.
Is the museum, yes.
RoadToRockRadio.net is the
.net.
radio station. Catch us at 6 p.m. on Monday night.
Okay, and thank you to the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum for having us.
Yes, thank you. I think I'm having a moment again. We better go.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks, folks.